Um, we're first going to start with messaging right here. Our primary message is going to be small business sense for big government problems. Before we kick off the campaign, we're probably going to do some initial polling to confirm that the economy is the largest issue on voters' minds. But we're pretty sure that it's going to be in this upcoming election cycle. So we're going to be highlighting the things that Representative Westwood has done to grow the economy in the Houston area. The first thing we're going to highlight is that he's a proponent of limited government. He doesn't want the government interfering with the way your business expands and grows, and he wants to allow your business to expand and grow without that government interference. He's also a strong proponent of capping property taxes, which is supposed to put money back in your wallet to ensure your financial security. This is something that we're probably going to hit on pretty hard. Another thing we're going to want to talk about is that he's been rated the taxpayer's best friend by the Texas Republican Caucus, and he's a prestigious member of the Business and Industry Board. He's a prestigious member of the Business and Industry Board. These things both give him a lot of experience and a lot of credibility when talking about economic issues to voters. But I think the most important thing is that he's an owner of a small retail business, which gives him a lot of personal experience when it comes to running a business, when it comes to creating jobs. And I think the thing we're going to want to emphasize in our messaging is that the real world there's no better teacher than the real world. And that type of real world experience is going to be absolutely essential in growing the economy. The reason we chose this message is that unemployed Democrats want job security just as much as unemployed Republicans. And while we don't think we can take a whole lot of Democrats, there are probably a couple soft Democrats that are maybe leaning Republican, that may be a little undecided, that we can pick up and take away from Jessica Gonzalez. This message will also resonate really well with independents, and given that we are pretty well ahead of our comfortable electoral vote goal, we think that we'll be able to turn out as many voters and maybe pick up some more to get an even bigger mandate. But that's not possible without a strong fundraising plan.
Okay, so fundraising. We have an overall goal of $250,000. So with $177,000 already, we're pretty well off. We need to raise $73,000 to reach our overall goal. As an incumbent, we're pretty confident in our ability to receive the majority of our funds from PACs and major donors, since we've already established many connections in the business community and with wealthy members of our community. But in addition to that, we're planning to receive $3,000 from mail donors, $2,000 from social media and email donations. We're not relying too heavily on social media just because our base is probably not the most Facebook, Twitter-friendly group that we're targeting. So again, we're targeting mostly money from PACs and major donors. About 69% would be coming from them. We're going to be focusing on receiving money from police and firemen unions, chamber groups, veteran associations, and various business associations within our district. And we're also planning to receive about $18,000 from events. We're hoping to plan a big kickoff event in the beginning of our campaign and several events throughout our campaign.
Okay, guys. Now that you've heard us pitch our message and give you a crash course on our fundraiser, I'm going to quickly go through the first part of our game plan. All right, our win number is going to be 13,188 votes, which gives us a voter surplus of 775 votes. So really, our game plan here is to shore up our constituents and steal a few extras from the independents and soft Democrats. All right, and so we're going to direct our target message at small business owners and homeowners. Our mailouts are headed straight for them. We're going to find you in the urban corridors on I-10 and the 610 loop, and we're going to send you mailouts, canvas, phone calls. Okay. Volunteer recruitment. We're going to steal our previous volunteers list. We're going to power through that and bring you out to our event and start stuffing envelopes and making calls. Our kickoff event is going to be at Bear Creek Pioneers Park. We're going to email all of our supporters, have them come in, have a barbecue, potluck, everybody's going to bring something, and we're just going to really send home the message that we're running again, we need your support, please help us out. We're also going to hit the high school circuit and the churches. We're going to try and blunt Gonzalez's message to the teachers and the students. Voter contact, 75,000, 80,000 dials. We're hoping for about 30,000 actual
contacts.
Yeah, 30,000 actual conversations. And block walking in urban areas at the beginning of the campaign and at the very end.
All right, in our overall communication plan, we're going to send out a mailer with our biography and our, proven record stuff towards the very, in August. Then for our people that need more persuasion, our soft Republicans, soft Dems, and our independents. In September and October, we're going to highlight the issues from our previous polling and try to persuade them, with our messages. Our 72-hour plan includes door hangers, many more phone calls to remind them, get our ladies and curlers out to votes and stuff like that, and our mass canvassing. And our final election day plan is there's a taxi service in Houston which provides free rides up to $25 fare on election day. Give them that contact number. Hey, call up a cab, go vote. It's free for $25 both ways. And phone calls, just friendly reminders, more door hangers, and just getting out the vote as much as possible. Reminding them that it is our message.
Yeah, small business sense for big government problems.
So is your GOTV plan just 72 hours long?
I mean, we're going to be reminding them throughout the course of we're going to be reminding people who voted for us in the past, our base, to go out and vote throughout the course. But the 72-hour plan, I think, is the real window, and we have to remind people that there's an election in 72 hours, and we really need you to go to the polls.
Get out the vote is just targeted straight at our previous voters. We're really not reaching out and trying to get a whole new grassroots effort of new voters. We're just trying to shore up our constituents.
Who's making all these phone calls?
We're looking to tap into a large volunteer base, specifically volunteers that we've had previously, because we do have those volunteer lists around. But we also want to reach out to high schools, because a lot of high schoolers want volunteer hours. And so we think that if we can get Representative Westwood to go to high schools and maybe offer them some type of volunteer hours, talk to high schoolers about the way government works, that would also help blunt a lot of Jessica Gonzalez's message regarding education. We'd also like to tap into churches and just people we meet through canvassing and phone calls that we're able to pick up as well through volunteering.
We're also going to be trying to be a little bit innovative. We're going to bring in a automated dialing system so that our volunteers aren't going to have to dial in individual phone numbers and maybe only get 18 contacts. We're going to try and speed up that process with the automated activate system.
Was there a tactical reason to focus on sort of the baseline on the fundraising side?
I think the main reason was that we were not going to focus, we weren't going to get TV ads or radio ads. We didn't think that we really had to, that those would hit too large a market, that they weren't cost effective, that we could probably focus more on personal contact with people via phone calls and canvassing, direct mail as well. We'd probably use a lot of literature drops and getting them various information about our candidates.
Targeted mail outs at homeowners, people who have families, who support our low taxes and our small business approach. It's more efficient than the media market.
Yeah.
On the messaging, first of all, I thought the whole thing was great. On the messaging, small business sense for big government problems. So back to the question we asked last group, which is, well, he's the incumbent. He's been the incumbent, he's been in the legislature for 10 years. So how are you going to address the fact that...
You're right. That's a good question. We've been bringing, the point is that Representative Westwood has been bringing small business sense to those big government problems. He's been trying to cap property taxes. He's been focused on limiting government to help businesses expand.
Okay.
So I think the point is that he's holding the line, I guess, against Democrats in the state legislature who are trying to expand government, maybe increase regulations and hurt small businesses. Obviously, that might not be their intent, but that's certainly what...
I thought it was very clever that you matched big government with the fact that he's pro-limited government. Just one thing, if you're going to do the creative with the wordsmithing, then problems, the opposite wouldn't be sense, it would be solutions.
Okay.
So small business solutions for
Okay,
big government problems.
Yeah.
Still
Okay,
brilliant.
And I just want to reiterate that the teachers union, unless they have a PAC, cannot give you a check. Any type of union, a fireman's union, a policeman's union, they cannot contribute to your campaign.
Okay.
They can somewhat contribute on behalf of your campaign and do their own thing
They
and
can
not
do an independent
coordinate
thing.
with you, but they
Okay.
cannot write you a check.
Okay.
I think a good part of it.
And they're not going to help you anyway. A
We just-
union is never going to help a Republican, ever, 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 ever.
Well, I'll push.
Not correct.
Yeah, in Texas, that's not necessarily.
Well, I don't think it will.
No, the fire, well, the fire.
Comes to money.
No, the firefighters union and Cleat will write Republicans checks and will endorse.
And even some,
All the time.
and some local teacher groups will too.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things where, in a district like Houston, it'll be different because it's such an urban area. They're going to default to Democrats.
Yeah.
We should be aware of that.
Right.
But statewide, in Tyler and Mesquite and Waco, where the question is really in the Republican primary, not the general
Right.
election, they're going to be more inclined to go with whoever's best for them.
And again, our tack here is not necessarily to bring them into the tents, but keep them from working concentrated against us, keep them from organizing against us.
Exactly.
No, that's right.
That's right.
And you always
were
go- yeah.
you were trying to suppress or dilute the enthusiasm of the teachers union for your opponent.
Correct.
That's key.
On the issue of the cops, asked Jim Dunham about Cleat,
Yeah.
okay? Because, I mean, obviously he got wiped out, when Chet got wiped out, Cleat killed him.
Well, a lot of things. But yeah.
Well, but Cleat did.
Yeah.
What-
Focus.
Yeah,
Focus.
sorry.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Great
guys.
time.